Okay, so we're going to look at a program called Paint today. And I know most of you gone to the Start menu, which is like the Chrome Apps button in the bottom. And you'll see Paint is around here. By the way, if you want to type in Paint or program search, it will show up here. Or you can go to All Programs to search for other programs. So I'm going to go to Paint. It's at the top of my screen. Notice that it also shows you the files that have been used so far. And we get a blank screen, a blank piece of paper. So this is just like a piece of paper. And I normally start with the real basic stuff. So there's a pencil, and I can change the size of the pencil. I can change the color of the pencil. If I want two colors, I can click on here, color 2, choose a color, and now right click chooses that second one. Now you can also use your finger. So if I double click on the screen, I can't work it. Double click. No, I'm trying to use a left click, but it didn't work. So we'll keep going. You can use fill. So fill will change colors that way. And again, if you have two colors, right click, left click, right click. We also have, you can put text in. I'm not going to show you that. We can also erase things. Now the erase button is really like a big pen. Because I have this color too as orange, it was making it orange. We have various brushes that I don't need to show you, but let's just do a couple because this is so I can erase. I can erase stuff with that. Oh, I'm on erase still. Brush. I didn't pick a brush. So the brushes can work like that. So if I choose a black color with that, there's the black color. I can also zoom in using the zoom tool and zoom out or hit 100%. I have one student turned on the grid lines and rulers. Also notice at the bottom there is a status bar, and that's telling me where my pen is on the grid. What else? We also have lots of other things. We have shapes, so we can do straight lines. We can do a curve, which is kind of strange. You do endpoint, endpoint, and then you stretch it. Hang on, let me get the pencil back up. Let's do that again. One. I drag a line, and then I can curve it. So it's kind of acting like an object. Next, I can also drag a rectangle and move it. And the reason that's black is because I have color 2 set as black. So let's try that again with a different shape. So if I grab a shape, I can move that shape. So you can really get very complicated shapes very quickly. I think my favorite is the fill tool because you can really fill things very quickly. So, oh, that was green. Let's go yellow. So all sorts of fun stuff. Another thing that's important to know about is the rectangular tool. If you use crop, you will crop the whole image. Now what's really happening here, if I zoom all the way in, let's see some hands go up to, whoops, let's get the zoom tool. When I am drawing, so let's draw a black line. What is happening to the color behind the black line? Hands up. Anybody? Is it still there? Is the yellow there? Anybody? Don't be shy. Yeah? Yes. You think the yellow's still there? Anyone else? Yeah? What would you say has happened to the yellow? So it's been replaced. Has anyone heard of pixel art? So each of these little squares is a pixel. So indeed, this is a single layer. So we're really dealing with something like a sheet of paper, and actually a sheet of paper and crayons wouldn't work that way either, would it? Now make sure your screens are minimized because I want to show you this and I want you to understand. So when you save your work, you hit the save button. So that is this button here on the top left. By the way, there is also an undo button. So I can undo and I can redo. And you can see I'm beginning to get that black line. So those are redo. Most programs have that. If you hit the save button once, it will bring the window up and it'll take you to a place in the hard drive called My Pictures. Do not save in the hard drive. That's the C drive of your computer. Go to 24 username. That's your F drive. So if you can't see it, open computer, go to F, and I put mine into a folder. This group name is 5A. So I'm going to call this 1. The default file type is PNG. So I hit save, and I've now saved that PNG. Next, I want to explain something else. So if I hit that save button, do some changes, hit the save, it'll save again. If I go to save as, I can either save as a different type of file here, or I can just hit save as, change the name, and I can save it as a different type of file. Now, the most common graphics file is a JPEG. Does anyone have a digital camera? No? Or a cell phone that you take pictures with? And I'm pretty much guarantee that your cell phone makes JPEG. So if I save it as a JPEG, you can't see any difference. It is slightly different. You may notice this line here. If I don't think I can zoom any further, but it's slightly a different color. So JPEG save in a slightly different way, but it's almost the same. Next, if I save it as a bitmap, there are various different types of bitmaps. If I save as a monochrome bitmap, does anyone know what's going to happen? Let's try. So I'm going to call this 5A3. Now, when you save, I would recommend you save it as a PNG so you can open it as a paint file and then save it as a JPEG. And then you can put the JPEG into other files like Word or Pixlr will handle that type of file. So if I hit save now, monochrome, convert this picture to a monochrome, and it turns it into a completely black and white picture. Okay? So you may try that. Do we have any questions? And look, the colors have all gone monochrome as well. Interesting. So that is that. Anyone else? We're all good? And so I'm going to hit the pause recording. Now, next class, we will be using Microsoft Word. And in Word, we can literally use lots of different layers. So you'll be taking one piece of paper and making objects and sticking them on top of each other. So you actually get overlap, and I'll show you how to control that. Pixlr will also do that as well. Thank you very much. And